Do we have any actual current events to talk about today, or is it just going to be like...
I'm going to ask if Kim Jong-un is still alive or not.
I've done no research on that.
Yeah, that's
so,
what
Jamie...
Yes, he is. He'll be alive in our hearts.
You have to figure out a good way to segue it in, though.
Oh, no, it's Apocalypse. Yo, to talk about Apocalypse, do we have to worry about that evil woman being in charge? The one that you say isn't attractive? Or is her fat, android brother still in charge?
2 whiskeys.
Ah, come on, man.
Sit still, my boy, for I'm going to tell ye a story that may very well save your life.
So welcome back for the first time to a Two Whiskeys podcast.
Fucking take my role like
I'm Captain Eric.
Welcome back for the first time to a Two Whiskeys podcast. Joined today, of course, by Captain Eric.
Captain Eric.
A.K.A. Joey, and Vorn.
Bane of the English King.
Right.
Did you mean the asylum?
Jake, of course, behind the camera.
Jamie,
Mako. He's a man of many names, none of which are important.
Actually, we can't call him Jamie anymore. Jamie and Joe Rogan's podcast has been talking way too much lately.
Really?
Yeah.
It was Jake, though.
that's why it's fitting.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I'd rather go back to Jake. Jake didn't talk at all.
Ooh, right?
Actually, good. Take note.
Burn!
I've never said a word.
I
Yeah,
wish.
he's right.
Yeah, he's actually right. That was multiple words.
Yeah, he only ever fucking rambles or says shit no one.
Looking in the mirror for a second, everyone. Okay.
Especially the ramble.
I'm looking at the man in... Wait, no, it's copyrighted.
Yeah, don't do that.
Right,
Anyway, this podcast does have a point. We have been putting it off for a little while now because we apparently talk way too much about other shit, but we are going to be talking about our personal apocalypse plans.
And whiskey.
Obviously, we're also going to be having a whiskey.
A special whiskey.
Yes, a special whiskey. Turns out a close friend and viewer of mine wanted a special request on this week's podcast. So,
Hi, Alicia.
hello. Yes,
Also
she wants-
Walker, I guess.
on some level.
Texas Ranger?
Yeah, that guy.
What's up?
He hates being called that.
Jared Padalecki?
Fight me.
But so they apparently have a debate on whether or not this whiskey is good. She thinks it's good. He thinks it is garbage. And we're going to prove one of them right today.
Old Camp Peach Pecan Whiskey, I believe.
Yes, it is.
You would be correct.
But yeah, we'll get into that soon enough.
No, we will. Alright. But the apocalypse plans we've been putting off for a while now.
Let's put it off a little bit more and talk some about the SCA.
Obviously. If we're going to share an SCA story this time around. We have to.
Alright.
Now, you guys have been sharing a lot of stories.
I agree.
And I think I would like to share one of my favorite SCA stories.
Ooh. I'm excited.
So am I. Now, we've talked a little bit about War of the Wings in the past, and when we first got into the scene, at least for me, we decided, hey, there's definitely room for party growth here, there's potential. So we started throwing our own party, and
Oh yeah, this story. Okay.
yeah, well, the first year we did it, we were ridiculously successful. We blew it out of the water. People were telling us that our party reminded them of Penzic, like old school SCA kind of partying. And, well, so we decided to make it a regular thing. And I think it was the second year that we were throwing a party, I believe. Yeah, I think it was the second.
I don't know. It was around the second or third year, yeah.
Yeah, it blends together a little bit sometimes with all the alcoholism. But we had been exposed to something at Penzic.
It's not alcoholism. It's a hobby.
Right.
Actually, a job now.
Technically, we have gotten paid for the first time to do this job, so we're moving on up in the world. But I don't know if we talked about Fizzball before, I believe, right?
I believe we touched on it, yeah.
Okay.
Home run derby with beer.
Yeah, you get beer thrown at you, and you have to crack the can open, get points based on it. Well, Eric at some point during my first Penzic you encountered some nuns, I believe.
Oh yes, back when I was a lowly first mate, Eric.
Yes, he encountered some nuns that gave him some packets of crystallized ginseng tea.
Yeah.
And, we're in the partying spirits.
Yeah. I'd actually like to take it a little bit from there.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause I was there speaking to the nuns.
Yeah,
and
you got a better viewpoint on it.
Yeah, granted, I was at Penzic and at Fizzball, so I don't remember it perfectly. But what I do remember is speaking to these two nuns, and they had Gatorade, and they had a bunch of water for hydration, they had all these different kind of teas and stuff. I'm asking where the booze is. They didn't have any.
They were trying to be saviors, and you were just pouring alcohol.
Yeah, but they did have ginseng tea. At the time, I didn't know you could snort it, right? Who thinks that? So the first thing I asked them is, can you snort this?
Naturally.
And they said, I guess. And that's what we did. I took it back. And that's the counterpoint where I don't really remember it too well. I know I crushed it up a little bit. And I know I brought it to people like, hey, we should snort this.
Well, yeah, I can give you my viewpoint on that. I'm literally sitting there just watching Fizzball. You stumble up on me out of nowhere, it feels like. And then the other thing is like, hey, snort this. I shrug and I'm like, all right, fuck it, let's fucking go. It's my first Penzic, let's roll. The first one I remember was ripped open pretty much immediately, and it was just these huge crystal chunks.
Yeah, they were like cylinders.
But I'll be damned if we didn't manage to snort some.
Chunky white goodness.
We managed to grind it up a little bit, but I'm pretty sure it was just like in the packet with our hands. And they're like, fuck yeah, this is good, right? They're just like, I mean, they're like the size of like coarse salt, right?
Yeah. So,
Yeah, and we snorted that.
Yeah, we snorted it, and
the collective sigh.
Anyway, so we sorted that, and we got a second packet. I remember sitting in camp with a little mallet. And
yeah, you get that pretty fine.
Yeah, got a pretty fine powder out of it. Did a second round at some point during that Penzic. I don't remember when we actually snorted it then, but it worked out. But anyway, so after that, decided to make it a running joke. So I went to my local pharmacy, and I managed to find capsules of pure ginseng. Was that Panax pure and Korean ginseng?
Not sponsored.
North Korean.
Trying to avoid saying that, but thank you, Jake.
Communist.
Yeah, communist North Korean ginseng.
We promise we're not communists.
Anyway, it came in a pretty fine powder, but naturally I wanted to keep the meme going, so I mixed it with powdered sugar so that it definitely looked illegal.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Powdered sugar.
You want us to mix it with borax?
Anyway, so a friend of mine at the time, he was having his birthday, and he thought it was just the most hilarious shit in the world. So he wanted as much ginseng as I could bring to his birthday party, and so I literally formed a brick of ginseng mixed with white powder and wrapped in cellophane. It looked like a brick of cocaine.
It looked like a brick of ginseng.
Yeah,
we don't know what cocaine looks like.
You've seen it in movies and TV shows.
No.
Blow is a wonderful film.
I am a pure soul. Pure as the driven snow. Innocent, if you will.
I'm murky like fucking mud water, so...
That's kind of racist.
Whoa.
Man, I wasn't even going there.
It sounded like Mickey.
Anyway, so at our second party at WoW, we brought the remainder with us. Yeah. So we had all this amazing powdered ginseng cut with powdered sugar, so it looked like just a fine white powder. And as a joke, we were offering it at our bar at the party where people come up for drinks. We had a silver platter with cut straws and razor blades like the dumbasses that we are.
As a joke.
As a joke.
Because party people, right?
Well,
we were also consistently snorting it.
yeah, we were, and so were a lot of patrons. That's no problem.
Several patrons, a lot of which didn't even ask what it was.
Yeah, they would walk up and be like, oh, hell yeah, and just go for it. Oh, shit.
Those are good people.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, it doesn't help that the capsules that it came in, I had empty capsules, and a friend of ours was also, at the party, and he was trying to get the joke to go a little further by going around with all these empty capsules, like 10 of them at a time in his hand, and pop them in his mouth and just swallow them. So he was just downing a bunch of pills. The meme continues. And then we find out...
we got fucking narc done.
Yeah. Someone... There was a double set of rumors spread about our party. One, that we were giving away coke. Like just giving away lines.
Which, I can understand that. I can understand that rumor going around. We had a silver platter with a bunch of fucking, just with a mound of white powder, like Scarface style, and a shitload of fucking...
Literally somebody in the crew's the guy from Blow.
Anyway.
Fucking Johnny Depp? No.
So, yeah. We got a little bust for that. Then we had, like, 3 girls that went to our party, got way too fucked up for the first time, and then thought they'd been drugged. They got checked out. They had not been. But because we had a friend going around popping a bunch of fucking capsules, looking like he was just throwing pills around, of course, that got looked at and scrutinized as well. It does not help that someone a couple camps down, we found out the next day, got thrown out of the campsite for legitimately having coke.
Oh.
Yeah, I believe, if I remember, they got narked done by the same person.
Yeah.
That we got told on.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that bit.
So there was a cop there, if I remember, that took his job just way too seriously.
Yeah.
And I've met multiple police officers at SCA events who just don't give a fuck. They're not working. As long as they don't see like a felony going on.
Yeah.
They don't really care. Yeah, except for like weed. I'm pretty sure that's like a felony. I don't know.
Well, actually, so I have my own bar that I run at the parties, and I actually had a cop come up to me and say, "Hey, I'm a police officer. I know for a fact that that's not coke."
I remember that.
I actually remember that.
I remember that, yeah.
Just the idea of being like, yo, they got coke. Is somebody gonna snitch? And just like, everybody's like, nah. And the one person's like,
yeah, we have, that did amaze me. If people legitimately thought it was coke, we had one narc, basically.
one fucker.
And we had the whole party.
Well, if it was coke, all the people that did it, because, we had to be at least 24 people do it without even asking what it was.
Yeah.
They would have figured it out real quick.
Well, we had,
if it was actual.
We actually had one person literally take the line and say, "That's not coke."
Yeah.
Like, he was mad about it.
What the fuck do you expect? I mean, there's 2 pounds of it right here.
Do you think someone's just gonna bring 2 pounds?
And I'm slinging boobs right next to it.
Yeah.
Do you expect the Mexican cartel to roll up and be like, yo, where the fuck is our brick? The mule's here, I fucking know it!
Yeah, we don't have that kind of money to be throwing around, fucking pounds of cocaine at a random party in North Carolina.
All you can snort coke.
Just a freebie that we offer. Many perks that comes with partying with us.
Pirates, man.
Disclaimer, do not snort coke or ginseng.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that, because we did find out much later, actually. Did a little research for the first time in my life. And ginseng, during the, early 90s, during all the drug wars and whatnot, ginseng was a legitimate substitute.
Not the drug wars, the war on drugs.
Oh, yeah.
No, I like it that better.
The drug wars was a completely different thing happening at the same time.
I don't know what war you were involved in, but I know what I was doing.
The war on drugs. That's why I was pushing ginseng so well.
So, yeah, we discovered it was being used as a legitimate, almost placebo effect.
A substitute, actually.
Yeah, just a substitute for coke.
Because it is somewhat of a stimulant.
Yeah, it's a stimulant. It gives you an energy boost. It definitely helps with hangovers.
I feel like we really shouldn't be endorsing it that much.
We're not. Don't snort it. Don't put things in your nose that don't belong there.
Yeah, especially with sugar cut. That shit's terrible for your not.
Yeah, for your respiratory system and in general.
And also sugar rot.
Yeah. Also, ants. Don't snort ants.
Yeah, don't do that. It's 1,000 ways to die.
That's a different story.
Found that one out the hard way.
But no, eventually, we got narc done that night, and
we got shut down.
They shut us down.
Really? I didn't remember. I don't remember y'all saying it.
Yeah, I think it was around like 1:30. Which, I mean, at that time, that was about the height of the fucking party. Like, we weren't shutting down for the next like 2 or 3 hours. Yeah. A number of people in there. They showed up. The powers that be showed up, and they kicked out probably like 150 people.
Yeah, our party.
It's a shitload of people for that level of event. Pissed me off, man. Yeah, I had a full line at the bar.
Well, and I believe somebody in a position of authority came up to you after it was all shut down.
The assistant to the person that was actually the shot caller.
Yeah.
Yeah, they show up, and I'm behind the bar. And after they kick everyone out, they said, well, they didn't kick everyone out. They said, like, you can't keep drinking, shit like that. So, everyone leaves. You can't keep drinking. You can't keep serving drinks. You have to stop serving drinks, and like it's quiet hours, so you can't keep like singing and doing anything fun. Yeah. So like everybody but like 20 or 30 people leave, and after that everybody files the fuck out. Everybody's like, oh, you suck, fuck this is bullshit. All this kind of stuff. The assistant to the person, basically their bodyguard, rolls up to the fucking bar while I'm back there like cleaning everything up and organizing. He's like, hey, can I get a drink?
No.
I look him dead in the fucking eyes, about my size, and I reach under the bar and pull out a completely unopened full bottle of vodka. Just
slam it down.
We're out.
That's my fucking captain.
At that point, no.
Yeah, but it is now.
Just a lovely first mate.
Yeah, so that led to kind of like almost a witch hunt sort of scenario. Like they were looking for a reason to basically kick us out of the SCA, or at least War of the Wings. And
homie got mad at me too. Like he was making like all kinds of like just dumb fucking accusations and stuff. He was like, I don't want to drink your shit anyway. Like y'all like saying stuff like y'all aren't shit. Like I've seen you out on the fighting field and stuff. I'm like, we don't even fight. Who the fuck are you looking at?
Who are you flexing on right now?
You might be confusing us for someone else. You might take that rage elsewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like next day they were trying to find like all kinds of shit to pin on us. It was really putting a fucking rain cloud over our time. And we had, like an activity that we were planning with another camp that was doing a party that night, and we were scared to even do it. Like we didn't want to fucking do anything to piss people off right now. We were just basically sitting around camp sad. And
I wouldn't say sad, just pissed.
Well, we were melancholy.
Yeah. Like, so we had so many plans and stuff.
The mood was very low.
And like the way it looked and from all the rumors going around, it sounded like we'd be lucky to even come back next year, let alone throw another party, let alone a bigger party.
Which we do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, we do.
Long story short, on the end of that, essentially the current like king of the region at that time, he talked to our captain. I guess she was a captain.
Yeah.
Talked to our captain, had the whole situation explained to him, and then he essentially told everybody to leave us the fuck alone and gave us a free pass to do whatever the fuck we wanted. And so we went hard from then on, and turned into a pretty good event.
Yeah. That's where a hype.
That's where a lot of the hype comes from, and we were able to get away with a lot of shit for I think about 2 years.
Yeah, because I came in like just as it had all like swept in.
Oh, and then that person left their seat of power.
Yeah,
permanently.
But we still had the ticket.
Well, and at that point, we had so many people that loved us so much.
Yeah, they gave us the window of opportunity to build our reputation more. So now we have the backing to pull that kind of stuff off.
We have the populace behind us at this point.
Because I joined I think right after that. Because I remember that person was still like in their seat,
and it was just before they had made like a higher position, and that was like the talk of the town, basically.
Yeah. You joined us at the height of our power.
Right when we were going mad.
Yeah.
But so that was one of my favorite stories, and I helped engineer that because I brought the ginseng around, and that led to us almost getting banned from one of our favorite events. So good times. Weren't banned, still going strong.
Yeah.
Mountain and Coke.
And we're gonna bring it back one day.
One day we gotta make sure it's safe first. But okay, so anyway, that I feel like is a fairly decent, good SCA story for this podcast. Don't do drugs.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Or don't talk. On that subject. So let's break into the whiskey that we're going to be trying.
Yeah, it's
the Old Camp Peach Pecan.
Probably can't see it on camera, but at the very top of the bottle, it's like engraved smooth whiskey. I feel like it's just browbeating you into fucking.
It's trying to inception you.
Yeah, it's just like power suggestion. Yeah.
Well, we'll see. We'll make our own judgments on it.
We'll see. It's got a wolf on it. It's cool, but it's old camp peach pecan or pecan whiskey. 35% alcohol. That's 70 proof, and I believe Soul said that this is the only.
Yeah. When I went
Old
to go,
Camp.
Yeah, I went to go find this, and I literally had to go through the whiskey out like 6 times. There are no other Old Camp whiskeys there. There's no other flavors, and it's like
no other size bottles.
Yeah, no other size bottles. It was literally just that one bottle, one flavor on the bottom shelf, tucked back. That was a challenge. I was there for like fucking half an hour just hunting around for that bad. But we got it.
It's 750 milliliters, made in Old Camp, USA. Weird.
Well,
it's got. I like that. It's got like an orange wolf outline with like trees in it. Yeah, spruce trees.
Very Old Camp
in it. Let's see what it says on the bottle. With its slightly sweet and smooth drinking ways, Old Camp is right at home on the rocks or with your favorite mixer.
So I've always wondered, why does shit like that always have a wolf on it? Like, when you're camping, you don't want to run into a fucking wolf. Like, that's a bad fucking camp trip.
It doesn't know if it likes drinking or not. Whatever.
Nigga, you have hot dogs. It wants your meat.
It's awesome, so
I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to...
Don't want to influence other people. Let me give it a smell real quick. Will remain.
Oh. I hope it smells. I hope it tastes like it smells. I like peaches, man. At least that's what I'm smelling.
Is that what you smell?
Yeah, that's what I smell. I smell peach.
Yeah, I'm gonna top everybody off.
It smells kind of like a peach schnapps.
I don't want to have to keep fucking...
Yeah, we can get a sip in there, and then we can try it as a shot as well.
Yeah, it smells kind of like a peach schnapps, but maybe not as sugary.
Okay.
Ooh. Don't smell like that from the fucking...
I'm smelling it after the pour.
I don't want to get any power suggestion from anyone, so I'm going to go ahead and take a sip.
Definitely smelling like the actual peach.
I smell more pecan. Like, I can smell the peach, but I definitely smell the pecan from, like, the actual shot glass. Don't smell it from the cap.
Can I say something before we actually taste this?
Yeah, go ahead.
After doing a little bit of research, Old Camp Peach Pecan Whiskey is created by Florida Georgia Line.
The band.
The band. This is their whiskey line and is the only one they have right now.
That's so much.
Does it?
Well, it's the only flavor.
Well, y'all go ahead and try that because I have several things to say about this.
Yeah.
Oh, they also said it is the whiskey for non-whiskey drinkers.
Yeah. No, I get that. Yeah, it doesn't taste like whiskey at all to me. It also doesn't taste like pecans at all to me. It also doesn't taste like peaches at all.
It tastes water.
I taste the peaches. I can taste the
peaches. Do you taste the peaches?
I'm going to say it's more like riding peaches, but it's peaches.
I feel like we're being a little harsh here.
Alright, so I taste the peach, but it is hidden in, like, the pecan flavoring is, like, hidden behind the peach. And either one of them are not good flavor. Like, it tastes kind of watered down-ish. Like, I'm not a big fan of it. I could probably drink it, but, like, maybe if I'm drunk, I could probably taste the peach and enjoy it, but I'm not really liking it.
I gotta see what a shot does for me.
Oh, you're taking your shot.
Now, I can definitely see how somebody can say that they like it. But for me, I'm going to say, does anybody want to finish this shot?
Yeah. It doesn't even bite like a whiskey. It bites kind of like a vodka or something.
It bites like a vodka. I agree with that. I get a peach smell. I don't get a peach taste.
No, I catch the peach taste. It's like towards the back of the tongue.
Yeah, the back of the tongue. I'm just getting fucking burn. I'm getting vodka burn.
That might just be like since you're a smoker, you're not catching the full flavor. Like it's a very very light peach flavor.
I'm not getting any pecan though. What about you, Ryan? What's your thoughts?
Okay. I'm very, very faintly getting the pecans, almost like they were like over toasted.
Right?
Yeah, and the peach aspect of it, it tastes less like the actual fruit itself. It tastes like closer to the pit, where it gets like that bitterness and the skins.
That you're absolutely right.
So I think it's the cheapest parts of the peach like, that are being used in this regard, and the pecans aren't like being treated all that great. I am getting like an earthy wood tone a little bit, so I do actually see the whiskey here. But it's so just lost.
I'm not getting any whiskey from that.
Take a shot at it.
I doubled up, so
I mean, yeah, it tastes like it burns like a fucking vodka. Like it's got a vodka, not a like whiskey back.
Yeah, it's got the vodka burn, but there is the earthy whiskey flavor in it. But it's so faint. Like I said,
I think that's the pecan coming.
Yeah, that's what it is for me. I think it's the pecan. Like I'm not really. It's not a whiskey, as far as my palate.
Would you buy this again with your money?
If there are people who would consume it more than me.
All right. I'm gonna be a little biased on that because I would not buy it because William Wolf whiskey is available at the same price and it is blown out of the water.
Yeah,
by William Wolf. So,
what if William Wolf didn't exist?
Then there is.
You're right.
Tastes like chicken.
It's not that bad.
No, it's.
But I gotta take another shot before I say.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I got
a proper judge. Like I feel like we're reaching so hard to find positives on this, but there are positives to it. Like it's not the worst.
It smells nice from. Let me smell it from the bottle. Yeah. Okay.
It smells good.
It smells good. Once you get into your glass, it's not.
I didn't. I gotta be honest. When I opened it up and I smelled it, I was not excited. But it smells good. It doesn't smell like it'd be a good thing to drink.
Yeah, in the shot glass doesn't smell good. It tastes better than it smells in a shot glass.
Like that'd be a good candle smell.
So I think I have a.
But I would not want to eat or drink that candle.
I think I have a good way to promote it. If you're somebody who likes sweet and fruity drinks, and you decide that you want to have your taste at whiskey, this will be a good starter.
Yeah, okay. Well, then it does make sense for the people who don't drink whiskey. Or don't like whiskey. Yeah, like, it is kind of fruity-ish. And I guess if you have, like, I like fruit palate, but this just, since it's not like a bright fruit flavoring, it's more closer to the pit and the skin. It's not like a juicy, what you would expect from, like, a fruit-flavored
it's the
alcoholic beverage.
Parts of peach.
Yeah.
Sure.
Which I guess they would be using because they're trying to make a whiskey.
I'm sure it wouldn't be bad in a mixer.
Yeah. A mixer on this would probably be nice.
A lot of the ways that I try and judge this, if I like it or if I don't. Because it's booze, I'll drink it.
Yeah.
Right? If I have to. But if I was told that's the only thing I get to drink for the rest of the night, I'm not going to be happy about it. Right?
I'm caring.
We've had a few whiskeys here on the show where if someone said, like, that's the only thing you get to drink all night. I'm like, cool. And I'm not even a huge whiskey fan. I'm a rum fan. And we've had some whiskeys that I'd be fucking hell yeah about, but I'm not feeling it with this. And I don't think I would buy it with my own money.
Yeah, I feel it. Like I said, I mean...
Honestly, I probably wouldn't buy it with someone else's money.
If I know there are multiple people who would like it, I would get it because I know I would at least get like 4 or 5 shots out of it. Like, I'm not trying to drink it, but I feel like other people would enjoy it. So it would be a shelf liquor. It wouldn't be something I would be drinking myself or imbibing in. It would be something I'd be like, hey, yo, y'all trying to drink, but you're kind of tentative? Here.
The fact of the matter is, this bottle is going to sit around for a very long time.
Yeah, I mean,
before it gets finished.
Well, I mean, that's the thing you offer to people who really aren't trying to like sip hard.
It's the same alcohol content,
but it doesn't taste like it. Because this, when I first tasted it, tasted watered down. That was what my tongue was like.
It might go by faster if we try to use it as a mixer.
Yeah, well,
like I said, it's probably not a bad bad mixer. Whisker. Sorry, Alicia and/or Walker. Whichever one of you liked this, and whichever one of you didn't. Walker didn't like it.
If you didn't like it, I'm sorry for saying Texas Ranger.
Still fight. Don't ever apologize.
No, still fighting.
I think this is the longest we've spent on a whiskey.
Well, do you want to drink this for the rest of the podcast, or do you want to go back to rum? I feel like that's the deciding factor for whether we like it or not.
I want to go back.
I'd rather go back to the rum.
All right, where's the cap?
What's a pirate without rum?
Well, a lot of the time, we'll just stick on the same. We'll just stick on the whiskey and we'll drink that for the rest of the podcast.
The William Wolf, baby. Ooh, that was.
Get away from my William Wolf.
I will drink that for a podcast.
Well, we did. Yeah. We couldn't do the pecan praline one the whole way through.
That was the only other one.
We couldn't do the peanut butter one the whole way
through. No,
we
didn't do the peanut butter. We did do multiple shots of the peanut butter though. Yeah. But we did not drink it all.
It wasn't bad, but we couldn't just drink that.
Yeah, because it was also super sweet.
Were you there for the peanut butter one?
Yes. That or you poured me up a shot of
either way.
I think we just poured you a shot.
Because I have tried multiple.
Because we did.
Yeah, he got there.
We were in the other in the other mansion when we were doing that.
Either way, this is not a podcast that reviews our previous episodes of podcasts.
Well, I feel like it's a good standard to go off of, though.
Yeah.
If we can drink it for the rest of the podcast, then it's not bad.
Yeah. We gave it our best. We honestly evaluated it. That's all anyone can ask for. So anyway, let's transition into our apocalypse plans we've been putting off for so.
Give me some rum.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jacob. So, apocalypse plans. I have several.
All right. Well, first we should clarify what kind of apocalypse are you planning?
Well, first off, we should clarify what kind of plan are we going with? Are we going with like our individual plans or with our group plan?
Let's go both. Articulate.
That would take a little too long.
That's a lot.
I mean, mine are pretty much one and the same.
If anybody's listening and not watching, or put on a skull mask to really get his feel for being a raider in the fucking.
He's getting in the mood, right? It's in his frame of mind.
Yeah. I think let's cover a. I guess a group plan for a specific type of scenario.
All right. So I believe we need to cover for types of apocalypse. We have to cover nuclear fallout.
Yeah, obviously.
And we have to cover a zombie. Those are the givens.
Yeah. The less expected apocalypse die, though.
Yeah.
Alien invasion.
Well, there's also the pandemic apocalypse.
We're already seeing how well that's going.
Well, there's also the just widespread rebellion apocalypse. And I think we're closer to that than we are to any game.
I'm just going to say widespread rebellion ends up being a race.
Well, yeah.
You live in the South. No, we live in the South.
Over the entire world, it would become a race war.
Especially because they are like, yo, we've got manpower.
Anyway.
Well, Asians would split amongst themselves as well. I think they'd still split by nationality.
I think Korea would kind of just be like, we're going to go with China. Japan would be like, it's payback time with Okinawa and everybody else.
It's payback time. You know if you want payback to Japan?
No, that's what I'm saying. Japan would be like, it's payback time, and Okinawa would be like, oh, yeah, it's payback time.
But to frame this a little bit, right?
Let's go ahead and switch.
Obviously, we got to do the fallout and zombie ones. The nuclear fallout and the zombie ones. Mm-hmm. And I would say just a global pandemic where, I don't know, say, 80% of the population just dies. Gets infected and dies. 100%. There'd be governments would fail, and there'd be just, I won't say that's not really apocalyptic, but it would just be complete anarchy, which is fairly fucking close to apocalyptic anyway.
Yeah, like
it'd be a lawless wasteland,
Mad Max type of scenarios.
Yeah.
Okay, so where do we want to start?
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, but for the group plan, we don't have a designated leader.
Oh,
right. But not a. Well, we might maybe have an unspoken leader. It is entirely possible someone else shows up that they're just way better than anyone else we
way more
have.
qualified.
Just I mean, they're older, just have more experience. They could be a fucking like well-adjusted prepper if those exist.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Hard to find, but they might be up.
Yeah, I mean they could have just a shitload of fucking combat experience, or just they could be a fucking Boy Scout master. Who knows? I know.
Somebody qualified.
Yeah, we could run into somebody who knows their shit. But I'm going to steer away from the hierarchy.
Yeah.
Of
because that comes and goes with whoever kills you.
Yeah, I mean that's not really something to plan for because it's constantly fluctuating a lot.
Yeah.
But a lot of the plans, at least I've made and that we've made together.
And yes, we have literally sat down and written out plans for these kind of scenarios as a group because, why the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting to think about, and it is. I'd rather plan for it and never need it.
Yeah, and we've planned out for specific apocalypses, some way more than others.
Yeah,
well, like
we planned out for the more realistic. I feel.
Yeah, for the zombie apocalypse plan, we went like by the bullet points and stuff.
Yeah,
and like came up with a general like either like base or just an area to look for a base and like what our goal should be long term, and just like how our teams will be split up into like search and destroy teams and like seek and
like scouting parties, all that kind of stuff.
Scouting parties and just gathering parties and stuff, seeking and gathering parties, shit like that.
I think this was 4 years ago. This point when we sat down and planned for our actual nuclear
fallout plan. We've done a lot of work on.
Yeah, like probably what we've researched the most in our entire lives. Like
because World War III.
Well, we actually went on like Google Maps and stuff for our local area and like printed out maps for it.
Yeah,
and we were looking up like blueprints and stuff for places that we thought might be a good base long term.
That would have like concrete line basement type areas, something you could actually survive. The what was it called when it's like
the fallout?
Yeah, I guess the fall.
Nuclear winter?
No, like the fallout itself, I suppose, because it's not the initial blast, the actual fallout.
Yeah.
Areas that can survive the actual fallout.
And we're looking for places with basements, but also already had storages of food because you have like I haven't done research on it recently.
Yeah.
I have it all written down though, but I think you have like after the bombs drop, you have like 2 hours to get into the place before the actual fallout starts to settle and you start getting radiation poisoning.
Yeah, your window is pretty small.
And you have to sit in there from like, depending on whether it was like a soft target or a hard target, you have to sit in there between like 2 weeks and 2 months for the radiation to dissipate to the point where you can actually just go outside. And obviously, if you're anywhere near ground zero, you're going to be dead anyway, so it doesn't matter.
There's no coming back from that.
You've got a variable to live on.
Well, unfortunately, where we're at right now, we have like I think 8 soft targets within 100 miles.
Yeah, we got to get a few military
Oh,
bases,
yes. Well, and we also have the Savannah power plant, the Lake Murray, and all that.
VC power plant. Yeah.
Well, you also got to realize that whether or not if it was an atomic bomb, a hydrogen bomb, because the largest nuclear explosion, the Tsar bomb, had almost zero nuclear fallout.
The hydrogen,
it was one of
the Tsar bomb?
Yeah, it was one of the cleanest explosions there was.
Well, they also detonated that 8 kilometers above the surface of the Earth.
Yeah, it's about the saturation.
Was it 8 kilometers? I thought it was closer.
Yeah, it was far enough that it didn't kick up any
radioactive
particles off the ground.
Okay.
Yeah,
because the biggest thing
no one would
fraction of
no one would ever set off a Tsar bomb unless they don't give a shit about mutual destruction. Because if you set off a Tsar bomb in Columbia, South Carolina, as a hard target, so it has a less effective radius. If you set it off as a hard target, it would blow out windows in Ohio.
No chance.
It has like 600-mile concussive blast. Enough to shatter fucking windows. No one would survive that. The entire world would be in nuclear winter for years.
The entire world would be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Alright, so our plan...
And it'd be the same. Like, a lot of people wouldn't want to bomb us with at least on the West Coast, they wouldn't want to bomb us at all. Anywhere on the West Coast, because they have the potential to set off the Yellowstone Park. And, again, nuclear winter for fucking decades.
Not a true nuclear winter, but it is the blocking out of the sun.
Yeah, but blocking out the sun.
Yeah.
And if they actually detonated a nuclear bomb on Yellowstone, all the particulates from the Yellowstone explosion would be irradiated, so it would kind of be fallout.
That would be a fucking like super villain in a comic.
That'd be an
I'm going to nuke Yellowstone.
If Yellowstone actually exploded, if it actually went off, that's already extinction level.
Yeah.
Imagine if it was actually like had radioactive fallout attached to it.
Radioactive particulates.
How much of an extinction level event do you actually get?
Alright, so what's your plan?
Well,
right, so we're going to get a Tsar bomb, right?
Yeah. And then after that goes off, we're dead. And the plan's over.
I bid for immortality.
Our current plan, I should have just grabbed the fucking book that we wrote all this shit
Do
in.
you even know where that is right now?
Yeah, it's in my go bag.
Always have a go bag.
Bottom or top?
What?
Bottom or top of your go bag?
Oh.
I have a Navy bag.
That was
so
a different question.
No. I have a Navy bag, so some things are at the bottom, some things are at the top.
Oh, it was the same.
The things I need to be able to pull up quickly.
It's a book. It's at the back. No, so I believe the plan right now is we actually have a high school, 200 yards away from us. It's incredibly close. It's like just a few blocks away.
Okay.
But yeah, if that's not being used as like a government triage facility or something, I feel like if school is in session, I feel like that'd be an excellent place. Like just looking at I haven't looked at the blueprints for that school specifically. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that high school.
I have blueprints for you.
All right, cool. So that plan's covered, I guess.
Yeah, no. I was looking at that, and I think even for like a zombie apocalypse, any kind of apocalypse, I think a school, at least when school's in session, it'd be a perfect place if it's not being used as a government triage facility.
Yeah.
Or a shelter.
And they got fairly thick walls. They usually have
they have basements, they have roof access, they have food
facilities
for thousands of kids. They get trucks. Most high schools get trucks 2 or 3 times a week, so they can feed thousands of kids for 2 or 3 days. Yeah. So I always thought that schools would just be a perfect place for almost any kind of apocalyptic scenario, specifically if school is in place.
Yeah, that way they've been stocked by food trucks and whatnot.
Yeah,
the government is actively looking at it as a place of refuge. People who are sick or injured.
And then the roof access is always a plus. A lot of schools have basements. They have maintenance shops on the property. They just have a lot of them just have all kinds of football fields, baseball fields, all that kind of stuff would be perfect for crops.
Yeah, exactly. So they've got some longevity to them as far as the crop scenario goes.
Got easy roof access, and they're rarely in the middle of the fucking woods or anything. So you just have a very clear
line of sight around you.
Yes.
And also, a lot of people are growing for it. So come.
And actually, we need to reformat our apocalypse plan because we also had, because at the time, where we were all working, we had multiple secondary bases where you only have so much time to get to a place if there's nuclear fallout. If you're at work or some shit, and everybody's going crazy and stuff because bombs just fucking dropped, you might not be able to get to the primary base. So we have secondary bases all over the place where people can meet up.
Always have a back.
Yeah, and obviously you should be carrying around a go bag that ideally can feed you for at least 2 weeks, enough food in it. And yeah, go to one of the secondary bases, meet up with a bunch of the other people that have agreed to this plan, they're following this plan, go there.
We genuinely sound kind of like doomsday preppers, though.
A bit.
Always carry 2 weeks worth of food around you wherever you go.
I know I've been slack on it, but at my work I have so much fucking food just stocked up from finding it.
Yeah.
And abandoned apartments and stuff.
Yeah, depending on your job.
I really need to start carrying my go bag around again. I've always felt safer when I had it. Rather,
have it,
not need it. Yeah. But I know one of our secondary bases was like a fucking rec center that like it just has the perfect basement specifically for a Fallout level event. It just has a fucking racquetball court. It's just cinder blocks, and it's all underground. And I mean, that wouldn't be a bad primary base either. I mean, they got a pool, they got vending machines for fucking days. They probably have a kitchen there.
Yeah, it could be a possibility. Yeah. Okay, so I guess that's our Fallout plan.
Yeah, that's our immediate plan.
Fine, unless gotten, I go to Tennessee to the holiday every single time. Like, I will hang out in my like if I have the 2 hours, then I'm just gonna find the nearest people, and I'm like, yo, this is where it's supposed to go, right? Otherwise, I've got maybe a week before I head to Tennessee until I've been found. Like, if somebody finds me and they're like, yo, join us, I'm like, okay. Otherwise, I'm heading to Tennessee every single fucking time. Because the holler, perfect. The mountains block so much shit. I don't have to worry about anything. The only thing I have to worry about is rednecks and blue people. And sometimes they can be one and the
same. Those are like your two worst enemies.
Yeah, they are. But that's fine, because at this point in time, I am better prepared and better trained. So, I'm just always heading to Tennessee with my randomly accumulated cache of hallucinogenics because it's an apocalypse. And if the world is falling apart, why stay by social norm?
Again, don't do drugs unless
Well,
the apocalypse.
Don't even think about Tennessee, because I'm gonna find you, because you're an essential part of my plans for all of my strike teams.
You don't get.
Yeah, if I don't make it to Tennessee,
you're gonna be my strike team leader, right?
Like as soon as we're no longer in isolation, it's time to become a different person. And this is just me. I don't say anybody else should do it, but it is time to have the awakening of a completely different beast. There is no hesitation. There is no like, oh, this could be no. Fuck it.
Well, and that's the mindset we're gonna have if we want to survive in that kind of a world.
Yeah.
Not only will we need your philosophy, you teaching your philosophy to people, we'll also need your just combat training and just calisthenics training in general, keep people in shape and stuff. Plus, I need you on my fucking strike team, because if I need a fucking generator that those assholes over there have, I know who to fucking go to, and I know who's going to get me a fucking generator in like 2 hours.
Yeah, I'll definitely do that. Like, as far as me, I collect. I have like maybe week and a half's worth of food, but I have not weaponry. Everybody collects weaponry. I have survival tools. I have things that will allow me to outlive you.
A gun.
That's damage.
I have guns.
You'd outlive them, technically.
Yeah.
If you shoot them, you're outliving them.
I have things
That's a lot of damage.
I have things that allow me to survive a gun.
Your own gun. Faster reflexes.
No, tourniquets. Just tourniquets for days.
Faster reflexes. Medical supplies.
Body armor.
Body armor. Lots of body armor.
Well, just knowledge in general.
And then I collect books. I have military
That's
books.
Armor's going to be made of books. Yeah, that makes sense.
I have military books, all kinds of things that would help in that kind of scenario. And then also a farm. I love collecting pharmaceuticals, things that can help. Especially because when you're medical, like when you have an immunocomposition, or if you are immunocompromised, you gotta have things on hand. You gotta have things you need. And that's a thing in my family. We just are like, yo, collect medicine.
He just collects fucking copies of Grey's Anatomy. Yeah.
Bruh, McSteamy.
No, the book. Not the fucking show, you dickhead.
Alright, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I thought the show.
No.
I've been actually wondering this with a lot of our like apocalypse scenarios. So you're probably the best candidate. We're gonna call you Doc.
Doc?
Okay? Because every apocalypse group needs a Doc.
No, there's one person who is better qualified.
Qualified, but doesn't have the pharmacy.
True.
Oh, you nurse?
No,
I'll take nurse.
No, I don't want Vorn mid-apocalypse trying to set a broken arm.
Well,
Fair.
Your problem is your bones are weak, so you don't deserve them.
I can make a shit out of this. Well, let's not forget that
This is called repurposing.
I have a person that is always attached to my apocalypse plan who can do those things. My little brother is a fucking genius, and he has like sewn me up before. So if I can't do it, he can.
I don't know, man. Bots are kind of running a little thin on our group.
Well, then I just have to take someone out then.
A little hostile takeover. Give them that promotion.
If there isn't space, you make space. That's the rule of the apocalypse.
Sorry, Jake.
I was gonna vote Thatch. Okay.
Actually, you're right.
Damn. I was just kidding. Shit.
I wasn't. My little brother's super valuable, man. He's smarter than most.
What's the level of surgery you think your brother could do?
Um,
And removing a bullet's easy. Do you think you could restitch an artery?
he's got really good eyesight, and he's got like really steady hands. He's had to sew on like my mostly severed toe, and like it moves and does what it's supposed to. Granted, I think that's because of it was fresh, but he was able to do it. So, pinky toe.
You think he could like perform an appendectomy if he had a book? Like,
Yeah, if he had a book,
I don't ever expect him to just like not even like a surgeon that graduated like Harvard or some shit. They still look at that shit before they do a surgery.
I mean, he is a scientist.
Unless
he
they've been
loves
doing it for fucking
chemistry,
decades.
but he's gifted at like biology stuff. Like the only reason he hasn't gone to school for it is because it's oversaturated here. But he's really good at like the whole dissection and fuckery bit.
Alright, well, let's stop sucking the ghost of your brother's dick for a minute here.
He's not dead yet.
Keyword.
And until he fucks up Ryan's appendectomy in the middle of the fucking apocalypse.
Well, then he catches a fucking 9. Everybody has to be dealt with if they fuck up.
Yeah, I'm not using a bullet on that.
I mean, I
He was using a 9-iron.
Catches a 9.
Bush axe will fix that.
What's your obsession with bush axe?
Because bush axes are wicked.
They're fucking cool.
When you see it, there's like if someone comes at you with a bush axe, there's a quiver in your soul. You're like, oh man, this could be my end.
Yeah, and to bring us back, that's why I don't want Vorn to be our medic. Because he's going to be that guy with a bush axe trying to quiver people's souls.
You need an amputation.
Yeah.
Bush axe will fix
Crowbar
that.
is the best thing.
You get shot like straight through the fucking lung or some shit. Vorn's not going to give a shit about your sucking chest wound. He wants to go chop that dude's head off with a bush axe.
So
That's his main concern.
Yeah, that's
funny thing is, I totally know how to deal with a sucking chest wound because that's a thing that they teach you in combat license.
Yes, knowing how to do it and wanting to do that.
Okay. All right.
And actually
You're going
doing
to be more
it.
interested in the guy that just caused it than what to do about him.
True. Yes. Okay.
Alright,
And I'm way too busy to be any kind of combat medic.
oh yeah.
I'll be tripping way too hard.
Yeah, you're essentially going to be a psycho from fucking Borderlands. It takes minor direction, I assume.
I mean, I will listen. Like, I can be given directives,
Well,
but like,
listening is not the same as following. This.
I will not be forced to be in my proper state of mind. Period.
Right.
Which is fine.
Yeah. Okay, so
As long as you can be tripping balls in like that direction.
Yeah.
And not people wearing this color.
Yeah, I mean,
he's good to
like,
go.
I can recognize.
Kill that guy. He's wearing this color.
I can
though.
recognize
I don't give a
friends. I mean, hopefully the colors don't mesh because it might be a little bit confusing.
That'd be confusing. It'd be very
You're wearing red, but I feel like I need to hit you.
just high as balls on shrooms and just seeing rainbows everywhere. Like, this is gonna be a fun.
Alright, so
So we're gonna have strike teams.
yeah.
All right, they go on specific missions
Bush axe.
with bush axes. Apparently,
Bush axes.
Standard issue to all your strike teams.
Oh, yes. Bush axe, or you get like the saw blades and you embed them in fucking axe handles. Because that's scary looking. Part of the thing you need
fear
to do is shock
is
and awe.
important, right?
Yeah, shock and awe. Fucking the men who stare at goats taught me. Scare a motherfucker, and it'll work. You ain't even always got to do it. You just got to make them fear for it.
Gotcha.
I think that'll actually be my biggest problem if I become the de facto leader of this apocalypse plan. I'm not a fan of leading through fear. I'm not a fan of it.
Should your subjects love you or?
I don't give a shit if they love me, but I don't think it just from studying history, I don't feel leading through fear is effective or as effective as other means. Yeah.
They love you.
Or you could be
that's where
badass.
That's where coups come in. That's just where a lot of apathy and unproductiveness come in. It's like I don't want people to only work when I walk into a room. Shit like that. I don't want people to be constantly fucking shit talking me and like trying to undermine me every fucking possible chance they have because I don't have time for that.
I mean, if they're not useful, they'll die.
And again, they'll find ways to subvert that, though.
Actually, no.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, if they can fulfill multiple things, then I'm like, all right, you can be a shit fuck. But if you're not good enough to cover up the shit you're talking, you die. That's apocalypse.
That's apocalypse, baby.
Yeah, but I'm looking long term at that. Eventually, a long time of doing that, and you just have a bunch of people that are really good at lying and kissing ass. They're not actually good at their job.
A lot of Jake.
What?
Alright, just been staring at your phone for a while.
Also, a bunch of maintenance men, so we can always get things.
Hey, Ryan, I might have to lead through fear.
I think I could trust Ryan until he was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna give him some bad drugs.
Don't give me bad drugs.
No. I think I can trust you until you tried to ruin me.
You know Vorn's gonna create Jet and Psycho. If they don't already exist in that world.
I'm down with those, though.
So, by the way, do y'all know what Jet actually is in the real world?
Heroin.
No.
It's not.
Speed.
No. Jet is Jankum.
Yeah, I know what that is.
Alright, Jankum is a drug that's done in the Middle East. When I went through, the whole, military yada yada yada.
Why would you assume we know what that is?
It's
everybody, as you know, this drug out of the Middle East.
Well, no, it's done all over Russia, everywhere else, but it's most prevalent in the Middle East area, whatever. It is inhaling fecal matter that has been fermented. If you check in Fallout, it's made from plastic and fertilizer, which is literally what you
process.
Yeah, you take your shit and piss and you ferment it in a plastic bottle, and then you inhale it. It's fucking ridiculous. I don't know why anybody would even think of it, but that is Jankum is Jet in Fallout. It is just inhaling the methane or the cured methane fumes of fecal matter. Yeah, that's Jet.
Fascinating stuff.
Very interesting.
Chemistry, man.
Very interesting. So, the two main differences between a zombie apocalypse and a nuclear fallout apocalypse, I believe, will be our long-term destination.
Yeah.
Right. I know Saul over here is a big fan of oil rigs.
Yeah.
Unrelated. No, oil rigs are not bad. They're very isolated if you can get to one. They normally have the setup to handle large volumes of people for sleeping and eating. They're on the ocean, so there's access to food. Unfortunately, a lot of fish equals a lot of mercury, so we'll see where they can be years. And, if in a zombie scenario, you don't have to worry about shit getting. You're miles out to sea.
Yeah, the only time you're having to worry about fuckery is if it's a Walking Dead scenario, when things die, they change, and or you just go out to mainland.
Well, no, you still got to worry about people out there.
Yeah.
You got to worry about food, because you can't live off fish alone, and you can't grow crops out there.
Well, you can, but you have to continuously recycle your soil. You have to go get your soil yourself.
Because you're going to run out of
Well, you can also harvest algae.
Well,
which I know how to.
Yeah, and that'd be good for like a compost, but you're still not getting all the proper nutrients for growing food from just algae.
Yeah, and it
still
would
need fucking like vermiculite. You still need perlite.
Yeah, and it would help to have like
still need potassium.
Some farm animals to use
and
for
that's how
fertilizer. Basically,
farm
that
animals
helps a
out
lot.
there.
Yeah, we have to, and just making your own compost out there and getting the proper levels of nitrogen, oxygen, and potassium on an oil rig doesn't really seem feasible. I'm sure it would be, but
it's kind of an attention to detail.
It'd be nice to not have to worry about like you're on an oil rig, either like zombie or nuclear fallout. You don't have to worry about radiation, and you don't have to worry about zombies either way. Both ways, you still have to worry about people, but you're going to have to worry about people anywhere you go. But I'm looking long-term crops, agriculture. That's what creates civilizations, and that's what allows people to live for a long time. That's what lets you create a community. Is agriculture, right? Play Civ. Yeah. It's just a fact. I mean,
I think of Waterworld when I think of fucking like
Waterworld's not.
No, I think I think of Waterworld when you talk about like living on a oil rig.
Those big fucking yeah.
I'm just
islands they make.
Oh shit! I don't want to be here. Fuck that. We're starting to get inbred and ridiculous real quick.
All those people.
An island on a lake.
That's about the same thing. You're not going to find the right kind of soil.
You still have more chances for it, though, than you do on an oil rig.
But the biggest thing is when you on an island, you run into early civilization islands fuckery. Like the most violent places when all the rest of the world was becoming civilized.
Lord of the Flies kind of shit.
Well, if you look at like Indonesian culture and stuff, when everybody else was getting like doing everything, getting their shit together, islands were just constant warfare.
Yeah.
Because there's always somebody who wants to get away from the masses to go somewhere else.
And the only place they can go is 300 yards that way.
And so when you're on an island, if you're lucky if you can keep everything a unified tribal organization. And then if you can't keep it that, then you're probably going to be combating the people on the same place as you. If you can keep it isolated, then you're trying to keep it homogeneous. You don't want people to come to your island because you don't know them. They could bring all kinds of other issues. They may not have your same methodology. Like, it really turns into just war scenario. Now, because like if you look at island culture, they have some of the best combatants because they've just never got out of the war phase.
Wouldn't you find that same issues though on an oil rig?
Yeah, no, because that's what I was saying earlier. Like, it's still just
if someone wants to leave, they can't.
Yeah,
it's like you don't get the boat. Like you will drop you off fucking 3 months from now. Next time we go to land.
Yeah. And you can do that thing, but
what I've always believed is the swamp, the Everglades. Not only can you get a just shitload of fucking natural resources very easily, very easy agriculture. There's so much just bacteria and humidity there. Zombies aren't going to last very long at all. Yeah. Depending on what kind of zombies. Again, there's some zombies.
The bog kind of preserves.
No, the cold preserves thing.
You get like pulled into a bog.
Well, if it gets pulled under.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Well, I mean, if you get pulled into a bog as well, where that zombie's at, you're gonna die too. So.
Well, yeah, but the zombie doesn't die when it's in the bog.
Yeah, but you're gonna die, so what does it matter?
And then you'll be just 2 zombies there.
And that's the whole thing with the zombie thing. I think World War Z, the zombie handbook survival guide, that specific zombie that they got in that, no bacteria affects it.
Walkers and runners.
Essentially. But, I mean, natural decomposition has to take effect at some point. From something. And what better place is decomposition going to work than in the fucking Everglades and the swamp with a shitload of bacteria?
But then you gotta watch out for the gateway.
Yeah, but and that's another thing. Where can you go in the world that you won't have to worry about other people attacking you or running up on your fucking settlement?
Everybody. Yeah. That sucks. I'm not going.
I'll take my chances with the zombies.
Yeah, I'll fucking deal with zombies and rather go to the cold.
You die in Antarctica.
I have no body fat.
That's where you die.
Well, you won't be able to grow anything. You won't be able to fucking...
Like, I love survival, but I'd much rather have a really gnarly death.
Yeah. I'd rather live or die than survive.
Come on, guys. You had a dog.
I will fight for my life rather than live a comfortable life. Period.
You ever watch The Thing? John Carpenter's The Thing?
That's not even comfortable. Yes.
You've never watched The Thing?
Never watched The Thing.
Neither of them? There have been two.
Alright, well, fuck the second one. Fuck 2011. But the original John Carpenter's The Thing. And they all got attacked by that alien.
Yeah.
That's the best thing that ever happened to them.
No, the best thing that ever happened to them was they found a new dog. That was the best thing. They were like, oh my god!
It went downhill from there.
And then it was like, oh my god, this new dog is eating other
Yeah, but at
dogs
least we're not
and
bored
eating
out of their
people.
fucking minds. Hey, there's something to do. Oh yeah, you use this flamethrower finally. Fuck yeah.
Here's a question.
I guess.
Who's the alien at the end of the film? Childs and or...
I'm not getting into that right now.
This is not what this is about.
Just saying, living in fucking Antarctica, that'd be shit. I could live in Alaska though.
Okay, yeah.
Sometimes they get some good weather.
Summers in Alaska are still summers.
Yeah. I mean, it gets up to like 78 degrees up
Get
there.
sun for like 3 months there straight.
I would be so sad.
Without night. Yeah, that does happen in Alaska.
Yeah.
Is it 3 months? Because it would be the same the opposite way too. And that,
No, it switches, especially in the current like climate.
Yeah,
we're in.
you get massive lengths of night. You get massive lengths of
Yeah.
Same shit in like northern Russia kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But look at Russians.
But I mean, I don't see how anyone could really thrive in the cold. And I'd rather deal with all the fucking bugs and gators and bullshit of the swamp.
Yeah, then you start hitting this.
I got thick, spicy.
You
blood
do,
inside.
but I mean,
the isolation of the cold does. It makes you like
as long as
attached to people you don't want to be attacked.
As long as it's a normal disease, as long as it's not some new fucking disease that no one's seen before, as long as it's a normal fucking disease, most areas, they have medicinal fucking herbs that can cure the disease that you can catch there.
Yeah.
In that area.
We've seen recently, especially, just like a new strain of fucking shit out of nowhere.
Yeah, but you're gonna die from that regardless unless you're absolutely secluded and not living.
Well, and that's also because we have such a population. In this scenario, the population goes down, which means mutations much
Much
lower.
cooler weather.
Yeah, but
Also, that influenza came from fucking. Are you talking about new influenza just in general, or
Yeah,
the one we get every year?
It's constantly mutating.
It's essentially a new strain or two every year. The flu that we get. I mean, that's probably not gonna fucking happen. Just how the flu mutates and changes every year.
Once we lose,
The flu never goes away. That's how we just get it every year.
So, what's your role in the population?
How we filming it all?
For who?
With
me.
With your
no, you can be 3 dog.
With your skills, what do you do? Like, what is the thing you would like to do, and what's the thing that you feel like you would be forced to do? Like, the thing you would like, and the thing you would...
There's so little I can't do.
Yeah, but...
Except, like, run. I can't run for very long.
So you're definitely not... You're definitely not being sent out.
No,
you
I'm
will
on the scouting
defend.
team for sure.
So, maintenance, security,
Maintenance,
ingenuity.
security, cooking, crafting is...
What about you, James?
Blacksmithing.
Gotta make them weapons.
Oh, yeah. Actually, yeah.
Well, Jake, are you a part of our apocalypse plan? I don't know if that's
I'd
changed.
like to
You got a
engage
girlfriend now, so I don't know.
Jake is one of the people I feel like I can trust the most. So he's never fucked me.
Unrelated.
Not for lack of trying.
I have. You just don't remember.
Oh no!
Very forgettable.
I have video evidence of the contrary.
Oh dear God! what's your job and what's the job you want and the job you're getting?
First of all, I can do anything.
We're all.
Name one thing I can't do.
Jake does have amazing cardio, so he's immediately he can be on the strike team. You know, running is a thing that's going to be required. Constantly.
That's actually probably what I would end up
until we get.
Now, what do you want to do though?
What I want to do? Oh hell, I'd be right there with Soul to being the cook.
Okay.
I just want to fuck.
Yeah,
It's my thing.
I want to be a breeder.
All right, Jake, you're on the repopulation team.
All right, Captain.
Wait, no, I would be on the repopulation team.
You can both be on the repopulation.
I have the best genes out of everyone here.
Your denim has no fucking.
I'm not tall, but boy, do I have good genes.
Doesn't your family have a history of dementia and Alzheimer's?
Only my dad's side.
I mean, but that's still your side now.
Technically, we have no idea what's in your family, so.
No, my parents got my biological parents' medical history.
Yeah. Well, what is it?
They have no history of any diseases.
Oh.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
So what's your job, Cap? Goddamn.
Whatever the fuck I want to do.
He's a fucking test.
So leader, and what's the job you want?
I think I have a paper here that says I do what I want.
All right, so leader and leader.
The job that I want?
Yes.
Didn't want to be the leader, really.
No, I don't.
Burden.
Well, I do because
you don't want to get fucked up by somebody else.
If there's not a better leader, I want to be the leader. And I think that goes for about anybody.
Yeah, I think you're kind of like what I would want to do, to where I want to be one of the guys in charge. Maybe not the head guy in charge, but people need to listen to me when I tell them to do something.
Jake, you have to have some kind of like.
People will listen to me because if you don't, I'll fucking kill you.
Yeah, that fear, not respect.
I mean, you
Very
should
different.
respect me because I try to talk to you and I'm a badass.
Well, I listen.
What would you want though?
Do you actually want people to listen to you out of fear?
No, I just want people to listen because I don't want to die and I don't want them to die.
I want people to listen to me because
I don't care
they believe what I say is right.
Yeah, I don't
or
really
the
care
correct
why.
course of action.
I just want them to listen so we don't die. That's it. Like, the only reason I would lead, like, if I got what I wanted, I would want to be a warlord because I would pursue conflict until I was extinguished. I would just...
Sounds like a terrible cause.
I mean, literally in most scenarios, I would not get what I want, though. Like, what I would want was to be able to bask myself in fuckery until it's over.
I think we've decided to not let Vaughn be the leader.
Yeah!
No, but, like, to what end, though?
To the end, I would try to...
Is it just violence begets more and better violence?
Nah. I would take the Genghis Khan method. I'd be like, yo, I'm going to unify everybody, and we're going to be badass. And
I honestly, now that I think about it, I've done little to no research on Genghis Khan's philosophies. I'll have to do that.
You should look at them.
There's a reason why there's a percentage that can actually be taken that carry on his genetics.
Yeah, because he fucks a lot. Everybody knows that.
No, but there was a reason he was able to fuck a lot because he was able to get the people to listen.
Warlord.
Later, yeah.
But
anyway,
what I'm saying is that I would want to be able to get everybody to unify and to push towards a common goal.
You want 10% of the future population to have your genes?
Yeah. I mean, that's stupid.
To eventually be subjugated to Alzheimer's and dementia?
I guess so. But the good thing is, I'm not going to be the one in charge. The goal the job that I would be put into is, as everybody has said, is strike force, because that's what I'm best suited for. I would just want to be able to bask in violence.
You're going to help me in the R&D department coming up with crazy weapons, so that's fine too.
Yeah. But, and then, on top of being violent, like, I talk to people well. Like, violence is not the only answer.
But what I would want to do, if I wasn't the leader for whatever reason, or if I had the option of not being the leader for someone else to be a better leader than I want to be the idea man. So I really like coming up with ideas.
You have a boomerang?
Same.
Hell yeah. I'm the idea guy.
Okay.
I used to be the boomerang guy.
Yeah. Alright, well, I think that's a pretty good insight into our apocalypse plan. We'll be dead within weeks, more than likely.
You'll be lucky.
You're welcome. You won't be subjected to seeing the God Emperor Eric reigning over the
I will be the first fucking Astartes!
Okay.
Be a Astartes, or do you want to be a Psyker? Or a mix?
Both.
Hell yeah, you're allowed to do that. You're the first.
Prototypes are always the best.
Yeah, we need to learn from the mistake.
Speaking of which, listening on Basement Lounge Pod this morning, with Mike and his podcast on Twitch. It was an hour long. Smaller than ours.
But it's super good.
Ours also isn't a stream.
It is really good. But tomorrow at 11 o'clock, apparently he's studying for some sort of
trivia
sci-fi trivia contest. Mm-hmm. So set an alarm on your phone or whatever. Tune in for that, 11 o'clock, Basement Lounge Pod.
Yeah, show him some support.
Well, I don't know. Like, this is for tomorrow, and so this podcast is going to be out by then, but this is for you guys. But next Friday, he is actually going to be reviewing animations. I pointed out he needs to look up the Stardust animations from 40K.
Oh,
he hasn't seen them before.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
So check that out.
Yeah, I'm putting that on.
And, he shouted us out.
Together to the top, baby. So... All right. Well, does anyone have anything else that they want to go over? I feel like I think we touched on SCA story pretty well. We tasted our whiskey. We gave an honest review, best we could. We went to our apocalypse plans. Bourne raising his finger.
I have one
threateningly.
No, not threatening. One sec. At the end of the day, for an apocalypse plan, unity is the only way you survive. You have to choose to be with a group of people and agree with them.
Oh, we're gonna die.
Stand together or die alone.
Yeah. Or die seeing all your imaginary friends fighting beside you.
Well, I'd also like to shout out Vade, the elf. He's been a big supporter of the podcast and the channel and stuff.
Good to hear.
He's been keeping up with it. So check him out on. I think he's on Facebook. He's on Twitch now. He's working on getting a Patreon.
Oh, okay.
There's an app I need to show you. Basically, broadcast to that. Just broadcast to fucking everything at all times, and he's broadcasting like at least every other day. I always check him out.
Insane.
I always check him out on Facebook. We had Vade the Elf on YouTube. I don't know if I want to shout him on Facebook. I don't know if you're cool with that, but yeah, Vade the Elf on YouTube, and probably around the same thing on Twitch.
Yeah,
I don't memorize the channel name.
We'll put some links down in the description.
I need to go sub to his channel or look at follow his channel on Twitch. Yeah, check him out as well. And again, Basement Lounge Pod. He's been a huge supporter of the channel and the podcast and the vlog and all that kind of stuff. He loves them. And thank you, Walker and Alicia, for suggesting this podcast, Whiskey.
Yep.
One of you was right.
Well, one of you. One of you might be happy right now. I'm sorry for whoever is. But either way, it
wasn't bad, but it certainly wasn't good.
Anyway.
Well, this bottle's going to be here for Alicia when she shows up next time.
Drink whenever that is. So, anyway, thanks for tuning in. Make sure to check us out on all their social media platforms. In Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Obviously, if you're not watching on YouTube, this podcast will be on Spotify and Anchor. Almost all those things can be found just 2 whiskeys, one word, except for Twitter, which is T Whiskeys.
Yeah. Send us something on Twitter, like, comment, subscribe on YouTube. We'd love to hear from all our fans and friends.
Give a suggestion. If you want to donate, like our friend did, we'll take, that kind of suggestion. We will try, whatever whiskey you want us to.
Now, as long as it's not like, $100 bottle of whiskey, because we're saving that for special occasions.
Well, I mean, if they send us the money for
whiskey, fuck yeah. I'll drink some fucking Lagavulin that fan wants to send us money for. Hell yeah.
Right.
Johnny Walker Blue, let's do this.
Woo! I love it.
Joey, what if they're not down with sending us?
Well, then they can suck it. And if they're not down with that,
you can suck it!
This has been a Two Whiskeys podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Remember, all whiskey tastes like wood.